they care for their owners. And it's really interesting to see that, you know, we as humans, as I said to Joanne, there are a lot of people that got animals during COVID, but are now getting rid of them because their lifestyle has changed and they're, being housed in homes, dog homes and things. And some people are coming and getting them, but there are a lot of them that aren't. So they're stuck there. It makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the animals sad too, because they aren't aware of when the owner is coming back, if they are coming back, and that's always why there's a settling in period with a new animal in your house, because they're kind of still feeling as though they belong to a different household, the previous household, and then they're trying to work out, is this a safe and secure place? And as you were talking about, you mentioned in the break, you were looking at rescue animals. I mean, the hints in the name, in the title of rescue animals, they usually are rescued from a bad situation. So they come with a whole heap more of baggage. And often rescue animals have to be handed back several times until they find their forever home. And so that's just so unsettling for any animal, even without having emotional baggage coming along with them, until they find their place. And it doesn't need to be so traumatic for everybody, because it's just usually a few things that need to be tweaked, and so which we can do, and then then everyone settles down, and it's a happy, healthy life for everyone.
I don't know a few people who have rescue animals, and they're beautiful. And I mean, greyhounds. People love greyhounds because they're beautiful, and you don't have to walk them much, but if I had a greyhound, they'd be walking.
I know, for such a racing animal, they are such lazy layabouts.
I know.
Perfect
I'm
animal.
sort of thinking, you're not going to be laying there for very long. You're coming with me,
The main problem I see with a greyhound is that you have to buy an extra couch because you lose your own couch, so that they can be a couch potato.
Yeah, they can sprawl themselves out and feel comfortable and think.
Because they're so long. Once they get on your lounge, they're so long. It's not room for anybody else.
This is the life. Take me. I know. Yeah, I know a few people with them. It's interesting. Now, Brian, tell us about how you got involved. I know you grew up on a farm and with lots and lots of animals, but how did you get involved in the other side of it, where you can go in and help fix that issue that an animal might have with anxiety or anything like that?
I was actually looking for a solution for my own health issues, of low energy and feeling really run down the whole time, and traditional medicine kept saying that, no, everything's normal, all blood tests come back normal. Basically the doctors were saying to me, get out of my waiting room, I've got to deal with sick people. So I went in search of alternative medicines, and I did try a fair few, and some of them were a bit weird, but most of them were really good. And I tried things like naturopathy and homeopathy and yoga and meditation, and a lot of them worked a bit for me, but nothing was the exact thing that was the key for me. And I came across the Pillar Code, and I really loved the changes in me. And that way I decided to become a practitioner in that, so I could help others. And during training, I actually asked whether this was because of my horse being a bit of a Fruit Loop, the one that was off the racehorse off the racetrack. I asked if it could be helpful with animals, and they said they'd tried it with a couple of dogs and it seemed to work with dogs, and if I wanted to try it on my animals, then that would be fine. So that's why I took the 3 horses through and the 3 dogs through that I had, and the effects, the results are just amazing. They're just so much more confident and calm. And my Jack Russell was a very yappy little thing, and he can still be a bit yappy, but now it's so much better than he was. And when he starts yapping now, you can actually tell him no, and he might give another one more yap. So, but then,
as if to say, don't you tell me what to do, you know.
or at least but it's true. It is happening. There's something out there. Okay, I'll go and check. So so I was just so pleased with the results that I had with my animals that I just had to help others.
So instead of helping well, you do the double thing there, really. Yep. Because you're helping both sides, the animal and the owner. Yep. So human and animal side of things. And the results that you get is stopping animals from pooping and weeing inside on the carpets or on the bed or wherever, or whatever it is, barking unnecessarily, because there are dogs that bark unnecessarily. They're not barking at anything. They're just barking because they can.
Yep.
And it's really interesting how we as humans keep telling the dog to shut up and be quiet or whatever, but not really understanding where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. And we talked about they're now using dogs to pick up, diabetes and all those
epileptics.
Those issues with humans, and they can detect it in the first instant before there's an actual episode, which I find quite fascinating, which could save so many people's lives, the owners' lives, from being injured or being hurt and die or whatever it is that could happen to them.
Yes.
How proud are the owners of their little beautiful
My admiration for animals has just gone through the roof, and they do it willingly, gladly, and even though they get in trouble for it and we can be abusive to them and all that sort of stuff, their hearts are so big that they just want to keep helping us, and they keep trying and trying and trying. I just have so much admiration for them.
Pity there weren't humans like that.
I know.
Trying and trying.
How good would the world be?
Oh, well, we won't even go there. Let's just keep talking about the animals so that we can, enjoy and have a better appreciation for animals and their behavior and their ability to pick up on things. And we'll go back to horses and how they have the ability to pick up on people who are fearful of them or whatever it might be. And I mean, horses are used now in leadership training. They're used in helping people with disabilities. They're used in all sorts of areas that we just take it all for granted. They are absolutely a fascinating, amazing animal.
Did you know that if you come within, or when you come within a metre of a horse, to physically touching a metre, we come into its energetic fields, and that just lifts our mood. That's because they're such big, solid, dependable, stoic animals, and they've got so much love inside of them that when we get within a metre of them, we pick up on that really lovely energy, and it just lifts us as well.
They are a beautiful animal. I did a lady I know, she does leadership training with her horses, and I wanted to experience it. So I went, and she showed me some of the things, just as a short program that she does, and how you get them to walk inside things and do all these sorts of things. Not as easy as you think it is.
No, it's not.
but because you're not aware of how to handle, if you've not had anything to do with horses. So therefore it's a learning process right from the get-go. And you take them around and you do all this and you do this and you do this. But at the end, that particular horse can be so relaxed. I remember this horse that I had fell asleep standing beside me.
You
And
did a
it was,
great job then if they were asleep beside you. Well
yeah,
done.
beautiful, beautiful animals, and like to ride more, but I don't know how to ride.
When you were talking right at the beginning about things that you should do more of, I was thinking maybe I should ride more. I really enjoy that.
Mm. And I mean, there'd be a sense of, well, there is. I mean,
Mm.
I took my granddaughter on one of these trail ride things, and
Oh, fabulous.
they were saying trot, and I'm thinking, trot? How do you trot? And I say, you do this, and I'm thinking, yeah, right, okay. And I'm trying, and I just couldn't get it to start
Mm-hmm.
with. On the way
Yeah.
back, we were about 10 minutes out, and it clicked. And it
Yeah.
was, yeah, and it was
Magic.
yeah. But they gave me a horse that was quite fiery. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. And when I got back, the lady said, "What horse did you have?" And I told her, I can't remember the name now. And she said, "Oh, they gave you that one." And I thought, yeah, they did. And a girl, couple of horses up, fell off a horse.
Oh, ouch.
She didn't hurt herself. It was on grass, and it was sort of on the side of a bank or something. But yeah, it's interesting. And I think, oh, I'd love to just get on a horse and wander around the paddocks. And
I can do that on my thoroughbred now. I couldn't before I took him through the program. So it's just so nice. And I know what you're talking about, because it's so nice to know that you're going to get on this horse and enjoy yourself. Whereas if you have a fiery one, then you're constantly thinking, oh, what can I do now? Is he going to go at that? No, he's okay. That's it. So, you're constantly second guessing what you're doing and what he's doing, or she, what they're doing. But it's just so nice getting on a horse and just going for a waddle. It's so nice.
spending time out in the fresh air, in the country, looking at the beautiful scenery. Oh,
We found a plum tree on the side of the road, and my
really?
horse had froth all over his mouth because he was picking his own plums, and I was just as bad. I was picking my own plums as well and stuff. Yeah, he loved them. So
Oh,
I
really?
felt like I was about 8 years old again and picking up picking plums in the orchard.
Oh, wow.
It was
Wow.
so good.
When you work with an animal, let's say you're working with a dog,
Mhm.
and the dog's filled with anxiety, what sort of things would you pick up? Because you wouldn't just pick up on the animal itself, you would pick up on the owner as well.
I have a conversation with the owner for 5 minutes or so, and just tell me everything that's going on and stuff. And then I do some testing, and that's where I get the information from. And then I talk to the owner again about the information, the message that I've got, and if it makes sense. And the outcome of that is dependent on the information. So it could be just that you need to know, oh, okay. And then we clear it, we get rid of any blockages that are there, and that's it.
It's a bit like hypnosis or EFT or something like that, isn't it? When
The
you
actual program's not, but the method of actually talking to someone and finding the solution, yes, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
and you would see all sorts of different things. What's been the most unusual that you've seen?
A horse with a sore leg was trying to tell his owner that he needed to have a look at his mortgage. He wasn't getting the best mortgage rate anymore.
Really?
Hmm. Hmm.
There wasn't anything wrong with the horse's leg, really?
They had taken it to the vet and they couldn't find anything wrong with it. And I happened to be over at their place and said, oh, would you like me to have a go? Because they were quite skeptical. And so I talked to the owner and I did the testing and gave them the message and did the clearing. And then nothing happened. The horse still limped until I rang about a week later. I rang the day after to see what was going on. And then I rang about a week later and said, did you actually go and talk to your bank manager? Oh, yeah, I decided I would do that. And they were right. I wasn't getting the best rate. And so I did a bit of research and I've moved banks. Horse wasn't limping anymore.
Oh, tell me another one.
Well, the cat that was pooping on the doona cover, that was because there'd been a bad experience by the owner for the owner in her childhood when she was 6. And once that came out, and they didn't realise hadn't put 2 and 2 together. And once she put that together, cat didn't need to poop on the doona anymore.
So they're actually working on giving you signs to make you understand that there is an issue somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
And because they can't talk and communicate like we do, they have to use their behaviour in a bad way or a not so good way to let you know there's something going on. But a lot of the time we don't pick up on those things, do we?
Oh, no. Whereas blind can be to most of it. Like my the horse that I was talking to you about, that I can just go for a nice waddle on him now. Yesterday was a complete prawn and I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong. And so I did the testing on him, and it turned out that I was a bit nervous about today coming on here, and I didn't realise. I thought I was just excited about coming on here. So I did the clearing and he went back to being his normal gorgeous self.
Why were you nervous?
Well, I haven't had an interview with you before, so I didn't think I was, but apparently I was.
Oh dear. Life's interesting, and there's all these curveballs that get thrown at you, and miscommunication sometimes that happens, and unintentionally. And I suppose that happens with animals and humans as well, doesn't it? That miscommunication.
Yeah.
That
particularly when we can't speak the same language.
Yeah. So they have to bark or scratch or do something.
Shred the furniture.
Or when they get so excited and they want to jump on you and they scratch you, and they don't realise there's one particular dog that I see, and she jumps on you and she'll leave big scratches on my arms and things like that. So you have to sort of keep her away.
Yep.
Beautiful dog, but just gets really excited, and because she's a larger dog, you just think, oh, don't do that, you're hurting, and then you just pat her and she's fine.
Well, one of my dogs is a border collie Kelpie cross. Border Kelpie. Anyway, a border collie Kelpie cross, and she's so focused on the horses and so wanting to round them up, and I'm a little bit fearful of her being kicked, mainly because the horse that I do the main riding on is shod, so that would be metal kicking her if they ever connected. She's quick, but then so are the horses are quick. But I was working with her, and she's was because she'd been rehomed a couple of times before she came to me, so she just wasn't 100% sure that this was her forever home. She was trying to make it her forever home, but because she's not part of the decision process before, when she had to change homes, she was trying to be the best rounding upping dog, because she couldn't call her a sheep dog or a cattle dog, because we don't have any sheep or cattle at the moment. So she wanted to be the best working dog she could be. And once she realised she didn't need to do that, she's not lost complete interest in the horses. If they go for a run, she likes to run along the fence line with them. But she's nowhere near as bad as she was. And people were telling me, no, you won't change her. It's her instinct. That's her breed lines, No, so mum and dad were good working dogs, so that's what she's going to do. So thank goodness she's relaxed a little, because I can relax now.
Good. Okay.